Hey Raymond,
Hello?
welcome back to session number 2.
Alright.
How does it feel so far?
Feels good so far. I think I'm getting the hang of it. Although I'm looking forward to when we start doing the isolation of responsibilities, I think you call it. We split into multiple objects.
Yeah, we can do the refactoring now, as long as everything still works. So just to make sure, let's run all the tests again. If I press Alt-R, everything should still run?
Yes.
Let's see. 8 passed, 0 failed right here at the bottom. Okay, that's good. Okay, so what I think we should do is, first of all, let's try to put the production code and the test code on a side-by-side basis. So we'll see maybe if that will make things a bit more readable. So to do that, we can just use some of the resharper goodness. Let's see, is that we have the board here. If
Yes.
I press F6, you can just move it.
How do you do it?
Just press F6.
F6.
Okay, and again, resharper annoys us with this. Okay. Let's move to another file.
Board. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Okay, that's good. So now we get to put the game board here and the tests on the other side.
Cool.
Let's see. 100% should be okay. What do you think?
I think it's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think we'll just zoom it for the maybe viewers later. As long as we both can read this, that's the important part right now. Okay.
Well, I have the code on GitHub anyways, right?
And I'll add a link to that in the blog post.
Okay.
Okay. So just to make sure, last time we finished everything with just the initial moves of understanding when something is being surrounded, and then to automatically remove the piece, right?
Right.
It's interesting. I already got some comments about the video where someone says, "You're like a child who's trying to learn the rules of the game," and it's better if maybe an expert in the game would explain the rules, and then you can go ahead and try to write a test for it. And I think some of it is because we're doing things very incrementally, and another point is that I haven't played Go in a long time. I think last time I played it, my grandmother bought me some ice cream, actually, so that might have been a long time ago. So I think what would be cool is if you had opened the Excel file here, just put it in front of Visual Studio so we can see it, and you'll explain maybe some of the possible moves so that we can choose which one to try to implement next.
Okay, so far we have it. We're just surrounding a single stone. So a couple of moves that we need to test is one where we surround a group of size 2, at least, like multiple size greater than 1. Right. And we should probably do...
How would you name that? Is there a name for this pattern?
I don't think so. At least I'm not an expert at Go.
Okay. Can you write on? We can write to the right of it. Maybe just the name of this as surround multiple. Maybe. Okay. Perfect.
I don't know. Should I generalize it more?
I think it's surround group. Do you think it will be different if we had B, B, and just B just below it? Like this one, for example. Control C. Wait, I didn't use Control, did I? Control C. Control V. We would have a B like that.
Right.
Is that a different scenario, do you think?
It depends on how we implement it, yeah. But, I mean, it'd probably be another test just to verify that we should verify, right?
Okay, so let's just call it surround group. I think they're both surround group, which is just different.
Different groups, right?
Yeah, different groups. Well, I'm not sure how that would work, but yeah. Okay, so that's surround group.
Okay.
Surround group. Okay. What else?
We also need to have a test where it's like if there's an edge and then there's a stone. This is also considered surrounding. So maybe call
I
it.
think that actually works right now.
We can try it. I'm not sure if it works.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
And over to the right, maybe here. What other scenarios here do we have?
So we also want to verify that invalid moves, such as if there is opposing color stones that the user trying to place here is an invalid move. So
placing B is invalid?
Yeah, placing B is invalid.
Okay, so you can write that down maybe. Just as a sentence. Playing stone no liberties is invalid. I mean, in this case you would just say that B is invalid, right?
Right.
And to me that's more readable. I mean, you can just write it just below. B is invalid. Okay. What else?
But then
Mm-hmm.
But in a scenario where placing B is valid is if it removes an adjacent stone. So here B would be valid because W would be gone.
Ah,
So
nice. Okay, that's good.
it's a way to strike this out.
Maybe just make it red.
Okay. So,
So here B is valid, actually. Right?
yeah. Or should I specify which B? B1. Maybe call it B1.
Okay.
B1 is valid.
When surrounding, when surrounding W, maybe. Okay.
Okay.
What else?
Say again?
What else?
I think that's good enough for now.
But where is your if we had unlimited time, money, resources, what other moves do you want to implement?
I think that's basically exhausts all the basic
Really?
options.
Are
I
there
think so.
non-basic options? Is there something more complicated?
Well, I mean, I think it exhausts all the options. Like once you play a game, this should take care of everything. That's what I think, right? But stuff that we need to do is also need to like verify switching turns, and then afterwards counting the territories to see who's the winner and who's the loser.
Okay, so why didn't you write that down?
Okay.
Determining winner?
Yeah, determining winner.
But when is the winner determined?
So the end of the game is when both players pass consecutively. So determining end of game.
Okay.
So that means a player has the option to place a stone or pass. So they have two options, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
And what else? Is any other? What about switching turns? You said, right?
yeah, switching turns.
And what would that mean? Would that mean that now only white is valid or only black?
Right.
Okay. Anything else?
Uh,
There are no
across-
dice in this game, right?
Say again?
There's no dice in this game, right?
No dice. Right.
No dice, Roy. Okay.
So setting up the board, like handicaps.
What does handicaps mean?
So when there are two unequal players, they have the option to play a handicap game where the weaker player sets up the board by placing stones
Mm-hmm.
on the board such that they have an advantage. So it's a more equal game starting from the beginning.
Okay. Is handicaps a sub requirement of setup board, or is it a different requirement?
It's a sub requirement.
I guess we also need to reset the board, or a clean
Yeah.
board.
We also need with the handicaps, the person who goes first is different. So deciding who goes first.
But by default, if there is no handicap, is there a default?
Yes.
And that is
Black goes first.
Okay, so no handicapped. So deciding who goes first. Yeah, that's the one we just have above. Okay. What else?
There's also multiple size boards. 9x9, 13x13, 19x19.
Okay.
And I kind of also want to do, because the game could be long,
Mm-hmm.
saving the game and loading the game.
Very nice. Okay.
So determining a winner, where there's a couple things. There's the counting territories. Plus, I forget how you say, minus stones removed. So that means in the future we're gonna have to keep track of how many stones are being moved. And also another part of the setup would be something they call komi, which is part of the handicaps thing, which actually, so if so basically white would have starts with a set number of points to offset the handicap a little bit. I also think in the original game, like where there's no handicaps, white has like 0.5 points, so that there always is a winner. There's never equal when they finish a game.
Okay, so we can decide that begin game with some points or something like that. That's what you mean?
Right.
Is
So
that
because
komi
black
as well?
goes first,
Or
they
is
offset.
that komi as well?
Yeah.
So
Like you say
komi
again?
is, what does that mean exactly?
So
Non-equality?
Because black
Starts.
has advantage when they go first.
Yep.
White gets a little bit of a few points, like 0.50 point. It also allows the game to always have a winner. So
Sure.
there's never a tie.
Okay, so you can say komi and then next to it just say always have a winner. How's that?
All right. Okay.
What else?
This one I want to kind of specify. I think this is basically it for just making the game engine.
Okay, what's written here? Switching turns. Okay.
Yeah. I think this is it for the game engine.
Okay. So let's just do this. just so we can see. Reset the board, save, load the game. Okay, so now this is much more interesting, because now we can choose what to implement next, right? And based on that, our design can easily change. So this would be interesting because there is no right way, but it kind of reminds me of, do you know those books where you have a dilemma and then based on the solution you go to a different page in the book?
Mm-hmm.
I think it kind of feels that way to me right now, because each one of these goals will lead us down a different path of implementation. Because the design will change and the refactoring will change based on the order of how we do this. So there is no one way. We can try and see where something leads us. So usually what I try to do in TDD is to implement things in the simplest way, the next simplest thing. Okay? But there are a few simplest things here. For example, determining the winner is its own separate goal, and it might be rather simple, I'm not sure. Or just determining the end of the game. So I'm not sure. Is there anything specific you want to try first to implement?
To me, the next simplest thing would to expand surrounding the groups. Another simple thing would probably be setting up the board, because that's like totally tangent, I feel, to what we already have.
But in a way, setting up the board is just creating a new instance of the board, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So is there really a need to set up the board? Is there something specific that we don't have in board setup?
Right now we don't have the option to select a smaller size board. Right now we only have a 19 by 19 board.
Okay.
Another thing is we don't have handicaps to add the boards before.
Well, handicaps to me feels really complicated because we need to figure out where to place stones so that someone has an advantage.
Right, you're right.
That might be actually one of the more difficult things.
I see.
But a simple board setup is just a clean board, right?
Right.
Maybe board size. Okay, we can do that. But then that would mean that the default board size would be 19. If we don't want to break existing tests, probably. But not necessarily. Okay. We can also start with Comey, that we always have a winner. By the way, we don't have any scoring right now anyway, right?
Right.
So maybe adding score to might be something to do. What do you think?
I feel scoring though is basically
sorry, what?
Scoring is basically decided at the end with like the territories.
But you say that there's a Comey, where someone already has some points.
Comey is just like a set at the beginning, and then it only comes in to play at the end when you decide the points, the total number of points.
Okay. So there is nothing to do with points so far, you think?
Yeah. I don't know. I was thinking of adding tests for dealing with points at the end after setting up everything else.
So that means that our demos will never have a winner or a loser until we finish the whole thing.
Yeah.
Would you be okay with that? Because I think it would be nice to have a game where we can finish a game. It's just we would have less features, less abilities during the game. Like we can have a game with a winner or a loser, but we can't detect group surroundings, or something like that. Or liberties are not yet. No liberties are still not a problem, etc. And that way we can basically have a game from start to finish, and then we just keep adding features to it.
Interesting. Okay.
So that might be just one way to look at it. We can go either way. We could also decide to do switching turns. That might be simple to do, right? So that we know whose turn it is, so we can just say basically which stone color is allowed, etc. What do you think?
Right. Right.
Okay, so so what do you think? It's your call. It's your game. You're the driver. You're the expert. And whatever you decide can ruin the whole thing or make it a great success. No pressure. I'm just kidding.
I like what you said about the Comey part, starting with basically making a whole game. That sounds very interesting to me. I want to see how that turns out. So.
Okay, so we want to be able to finish a game, right? Okay, so to finish a game, we need to be able to have turns.
Right.
We need to be able to determine the winner, or at least in a very simple way.
Right.
Right? And we need to have players to be able to pass, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this one, and this one. Do we also need the Comey for that, or to be able to finish the game? No.
No, we don't.
Okay, so I'll mark these in red, so we'll know what we're working on.
Right.
Okay, so which one of them do you want to do first?
Probably determining winner. Well, maybe we should do with the Comey because right now if we determine winner, they're both going to have 0 points, and then that's a tie. And original game doesn't have ties.
Aha, so you're saying the simplest test for determining a winner is that there is always a winner.
Right.
And that means we need to have a Comey.
Right.
Okay, so let's implement that as well. Okay. Cool. So I think we have something to do now.
Okay.
Do you want to save this file so we can also then add it later to the source control?
Sure. What should we call it?
Backlog?
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Hold on. And we're on. Okay, so let's switch back to Visual Studio, and we're gonna work on, as we said, well, that's not mine, that's yours. Sorry. So can you switch back to the Visual Studio?
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with a test, right? What's the simplest test you can think of for Comey?
You shrink the Visual Studios.
That didn't work great. What if I just said view, show the whole desktop for now? Okay, that's much better. Okay, that's Visual Studio for you. And now let's try again. Select a single window, this one. Now, can I also optimize your environment a bit by removing this toolbar?
Go for it.
It's a standard, I think. Here's a text editor. Yeah. Okay, we have more room now. So where were we? We're trying to write the first test, right? And this time we want to determine a winner. Okay. Do you want to write? You want to start?
All right. Well, so actually, maybe the first one should probably be the Comey, because that way and then determine the winner after that. That way we always have a winner.
So the way I think about it, Comey is not an end user feature. It's a feature of the game. Okay. Right? So it's built into the game. The player doesn't care if there's a Comey or not. He just cares if there's a winner. I mean, in terms of engine. I mean, the way I think about it is that if you start a game and there are no moves, we already have a winner. That is what Comey is, right?
Yes, I guess. Yeah.
So, in terms of the unit of work here, The unit of work, there is nothing called Comey because Comey is something internal.
Okay.
The unit of work is probably some public method called who wins or something like that.
I see.
Okay, does that make sense?
I see. Makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. Oops. Okay. Winner scenario. No moves
Or by default.
by default.
You just shift tab if you want.
All right. Expected behavior.
Well, who's the default? White?
Yes.
You don't have to say it's default winner because it is by default. Perfect.
Nice.
Okay. That is the Comey feature, I guess, right?
Yes.
So maybe if we would say by default, or by default with Comey, it's white or something. What do you think? By default with Comey enabled. What do you think?
Say again?
With by default or because of Comey? What do you think?
Like this?
Yeah. What do you think? Okay. I'm trying to put the Comey word in here so that people know that it relates to that feature.
Right.
But I'm not
I think
sure.
it's more clear, so I agree with it.
Okay. So okay, let's do it.
Oops. Alright, so
by the way, hold on. You see how ReSharper hates this name?
Mm-hmm.
So Alt Enter. Inspection options for inconsistent naming, and then you say shut up. That's it.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright, so interesting part is how do we want to do this? Oops.
We already have stone color, right? So we can just use that. What do you think?
I agree. So will we have it board?
I would rather have a result and then see where we get the result from.
Right. I remember now. Okay. Alright. So we can either have board determine the winner itself, or we have an object that looks at the board and determines the winner.
Well, for now, our point is to get something working, to get feedback. So the simplest thing. Then we can refactor it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, now let's make it compile and see it fail.
Okay.
By the way, is there a possible result where there is a winner when there is no winner?
No.
Never.
There should. I haven't heard of one.
Okay. Okay, just make it compile. So generate the method, etc.
What's the...
Alt Enter. It's always Alt Enter, dude. Alt Enter should be burned into your mind.
Very cool.
Well, it should fail first.
Oh, fail. Okay.
Okay, Alt R, run all the tests. Let's see what happens. Okay,
Nice.
failed. Now you can close this window with Shift Escape. This
Shift escape.
yeah, it closes tool windows.
Nice.
Okay, now let's make it pass. simplest way possible.